morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. We backpacked in, set up camp this morning, and started shed hunting about 20 minutes ago. This is a spot we saw some bulls last year, and we found a few sheds in here during the hunting season. So we figured, what the heck, come in here, see if we find some browns. So we're gonna be in here for the next 3 days, and yeah, it's looking good in here. We've already seen some fresh sign. Got a fresh bed. There's another bed over there. There's gonna be a brown in here, guys. I know it. It smells of elk. There's gonna be one in here. Well, I just popped out of that brush where all those beds were at. I did quite a few loops in there. There's lots of beds, lots of sign, but it's super thick in there. I figured they're probably coming out into the open to feed, so I came out of that spot and just got into some more open timber and got a side-by-side mule deer set. They look brown, but they are just hammered. They're chewed so bad, it's actually sad, but here they are. Look at that. That sucks so bad. Oh, those might be hard white, actually. It's already got a... Oops, sorry. Green bear. Man. Oh, it's pathetic. This would have been a pretty nice set if the squirrels hadn't have just destroyed it. Look at that. He's got two little kickers off the base. Look at that. It's like completely chewed through. But it's something. Throw them on my pack, I guess. I just picked up that mule deer set, and I walked up the hill a little ways and saw a spike elk rubbing on a tree. I tried getting out my tripod and the all-in system in order to get some video of him, but I didn't know it. There was two other spikes up above me, and my thermals are growing uphill, so they busted out before I could get any footage. But 3 spikes. Obviously, they all still had their antlers, so fingers crossed those aren't the only bulls in here. Hopefully there's some bigger ones. Got the first brown of the day, guys. Oh yeah. Look at that monster. This is the kind of stuff I'm walking through here. Just on the other side of the ridge, it's open, and this is the ridge where we've seen those bulls back in November. And this stuff all looks really good in here. Got lots of food. Just picked up that deer shed about 5 minutes ago and found the third antler of the day. It's chalk. But first elk shed for me for the day. Nick just found brown side-by-side set. I just found, what is that, 5th antler of the day. Chalk whitetail shed. All right, update. It's 2:30 right now. Haven't found an antler in over an hour. Me and Nick met up and we ate a little bit of food. Right now, I'm just bouncing back and forth between two ridges. Just gridding out this draw, seeing if I can turn anything up, but not sure what the game plan is after I make my way up to the top of the ridge. Might hit on the other side of the ridge from where camp is at, but we still got, I don't know, 5 more hours. 5 more hours to shed hunt today, so with a little luck, we'll turn up a few more. Yeah, that one's staying right there. All right, me and Nick met back up. We popped over the ridge, the main ridge that we're camped on, came into this open basin. I looked down probably 100 yards below where we sat down. There's a small 5-point elk shed. Nick looks like 50 yards past my elk shed, and there's another elk shed, but that one's brown. So we're gonna run down there, pick him up. All right, Nick just got down to his first brown of 2025. It's a sweet little 6-point. Lane tines down. And then my antler's just 50 yards uphill from him. All right, here's a look at the antler I glassed up when we first popped over. 2-year-old 5-point. It's getting a little chalky how it's been chewed. Burr's completely gone, almost. Dang rodents in here, man. They're chewing the heck out of everything. Made it back to camp. Got the tarp set up right as the rain came in. Nick built us a fire. So we were gonna hike a little bit more, but now it's raining and we made it back to camp. We were feeling like just relaxing. So we're gonna eat some dinner, hang out, and enjoy the night.
I got cheddar cheese if you want. Moist out here, mates.
Yeah, it rained all night long on us. So we laid in bed hoping that the rain would stop, and it finally did. And it cleared up. It was super foggy this morning too. But we're headed out now. We got a full day ahead of us. See what we can turn up. Got it, guys. First brown elk shed of 2025. Me and Nick split up right out of camp, coming through this opening. Looked downhill about 50 yards, and we got a brown 5-point lane here. Oh, it's what we wanted. First brown elk shed of 2025. It's a young bull. Might be a little 6, haven't picked it up, but clean burr. You guys, this is crazy. 3 brown elk sheds. I literally picked up that first one, came over the ridge to see if I could find Nick. Here's another antler, 6-point, leaned up against a tree, and down the hill is another one. Look at that. That's gotta be the craziest ATL ever. And look at, just by that rock, there's another brown elk shed. Yes, guys, this is the pocket. Oh my gosh. That's gotta be the other side to the first one I found. Oh my gosh, guys. This is unreal. That's the most browns I've ever found in one pocket. Brown elk shed number 3 of the year, guys. I just hit an unreal pocket. One right behind that tree, and then one around the corner. All right, this was the first one I found. Look at that. Clean burr. 5-point. Let's take it. Pick up my walking sticks. We'll walk over to the next ones. All right, this is the 3rd antler I found. I thought it was the match to this one here, the first one, but as you guys can see, they're both right sides. So get a pick up of this one. Another little 6. It's got a really curvy main beam. Pretty dense for how small it is. But one of these might be the other side to Nick's. Nick's had a really short second, and off the top of my head I can't think of what his was. I think his is a right side as well, so neither one of these are the matches to Nick's. But 2 younger bulls hanging out in here. Maybe the one up the hill leaned up against a tree is a match to one of these. All right guys, this has got to be the craziest ATL elk shed I've ever found. Leaning up against a tree on one branch. It's the best one out of all the ones I've just found right here in this pocket. Still a small 6-point, but we'll have to bring it down to the other 2 and see if it's the match. Man, that's what we've wanted all year long. We've been grinding trying to find brown elk sheds, and Nick picked up his first yesterday, and I just popped off with 3 in the last 10 minutes. All right, now that I did pick up on all 3 of them, go ahead and show you guys. We don't think any of these are the same bulls. So here's the biggest of the 3. Nice little 6-point. It's the only left side, and don't think this is the same. This is not the match, because look how curved that main beam is. And just realized when we were comparing that this one doesn't even have a third. So don't think that's the same bull. Not 100% sure on it. It might just be funky, not have a third. But and there's this one. This was the first one I found. So that's 3 brown elk sheds in this one little pocket. So Nick finally got up here and he headed that direction. We're just gonna grid throughout this and try to find the matches. Cruising on this trail. Look downhill. Bingo. Left side. Looks like a good antler. Another little 5-point, and this one, coloration on it looks really similar to the first one I picked up today. So let's pull it off the pack and see if we got a set. Yep, little 5-point, for sure. For sure a set. It's got the same coloration, same back end, same fronts too. So we got one for sure set. Not so sure about these other 2 on my pack. I'm not confident that they're a set. Still haven't decided. They got some similarities in the coloration, the ridges, but just a little different. This one seems like it's got more of a curved main beam, but maybe it's just because there's no third on it that's throwing me off. The burrs do look awfully similar, so that might be 2 sets. So if that's so, that means we got to go out and see if we can find some more. So you guys might remember me saying yesterday that we were in here hunting and we saw these bulls. That's why we decided to come back in here and shed hunt. But when we were deer hunting, I found a 7-point brown elk shed. It just was in perfect condition because it was in some of these younger timber stands, and I just used the Onyx to do a line distance, and from where I just found this antler to where I picked up that 7-point in November, it was only 40 yards. So that's kind of crazy. This might be a good spot to really grid out and see if we can find some more. Maybe even this other side to that 7-point. Little update. It's been an hour and 15 minutes since I found the last elk shed. I just made it over to the ridge that was dividing the basins that me and Nick were working in, and I might sit down, eat some food, might even start a little fire. I've never found 4 brown elk sheds in one day, so if I don't find another antler all day long, I'll be perfectly content. So that's a little update. Nick just radioed me and told me he's headed over into the next canyon over to where he found his brown yesterday. So fingers crossed he can get on the board here soon. Good news, guys. Nick just hit me up on the radio and found brown 5-point. So he's on the board for the day. I'm still sitting down. I was actually glassing this basin that Nick had just worked through and moved out of. Just basically glassing for fun, sitting down, letting the feet rest. Sun came out for a little bit. It was beautiful. I was starting to dry out a little bit, but a bunch of clouds rolled in. But Nick's on the board with the brown elk shed. That's 5 on the day, and we got plenty of hours left in the day to find some more. Me and Nick were sitting here chilling, and he looks across the canyon and saw 2 bulls. That bull right there is a shed bull, but this one right down here, where's he at? Oh, he might be behind the oh, there he is. He's already growing new antlers. I know there's whitetail in the bottoms of these canyons. There's another bed. Might find a whitetail shed or even some mealy sheds, but we took a nice break. Now we're back at it. There's another bed right there at the base of that tree. So hopefully there's some deer sheds in this lower stuff.
I've seen a lot of deer sign down in here, but
Nice find, Nick. Look at this little thing. Just okay. It's actually got a really sweet base to it. Never seen a elk shed like that before.
No.
I mean, it completely shed off like normal. It just was super weird form. Stands up on its own. Little evening update. We've been climbing up out of the bottoms of these canyons for about the last hour. Nick's over the ridge to my right, doing the same thing I've been doing, which is just kind of bouncing back and forth between little finger ridges and trying to find the matches to Nick's elk sheds, but no luck yet. We're probably 30 minutes or so from camp, and that's kind of the direction we're going. We're gonna get back there, start a fire, enjoy the rest of the day. Dinner time. Got the fire going. Starting to get a little chilly, but admiring the view back at camp. Good morning, guys. Day 3, last day out here. Finally, we woke up to some sunshine, so we're getting ready to head out and start hiking for the day. Still got like 8 hours of hiking we can get in, but then we'll come back, pack up camp, and head to the pickup. But this is the last push. Hopefully we can bring some antlers back to camp. Got a lucky balloon. Just cruising through this really good looking stuff, and we got our first antler. Mule deer shed, looks like. Hopefully it's not too old. Little 3-point. Looks like probably a 2-year-old antler. A little chewed up, but on the board for the day. That's the icebreaker right there. That's a good sign. Looks like some elk have been coming down through here. Not far away from where I picked up the last brown yesterday. I'm actually in here kind of looking for the 7-point I picked up when I was deer hunting. See if I can match him up. So I'm just slowly gritting this stuff out. But we got some old elk tracks. Finally made it down to the bottom of the canyon for the first time. Haven't found any antlers since I picked up that mule deer shed in the first hour of hiking. So we came down, gonna fill up our waters, and then work a ridge to the west of us that we haven't hit yet, make our way back up to camp. Probably take camp down, but glass from there to another ridge, opposite direction. See if we can glass anything up, and if we do, we'll hop in the pickup or make our way back to the pickup and drive around and go down that ridge. But it's a little update. It's been pretty slow today, but the day's not over yet. All right, guys, we're just kind of walking parallel to the draw down here. Nick's on the other side, going through this stuff, and oh, there's the other side. See it right there? Dang, hard whites are just annihilated by squirrels, but that's good. Sign that there's antlers in this stuff. All right, here's the second one. Just a mini little 6-point, but had a little devil's tine going on. Just get chewed up by the squirrels in here. Take it over to the other side. It is thick in here, but it looks really good. I was expecting to find some whitetail sheds. Not elk sheds, but we'll take it. Little raghorn set. Show the people what you found, Nick.
The biggest take home of the trip, bro. Little brown 2-pointer. First deer shed of the trip.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's his first deer shed, and I've found so many deer sheds, but the 2 browns have been tiny so far.
2 brown deer sheds.
We just ate lunch, enjoying the sunshine, but we got 600 more feet in elevation or so to climb up to camp, and then start tearing it down, do a little bit of glassing, and then head out of here. Loaded up, got camp torn down, ready to head back to the pickup. It's a beautiful camping spot. We'll definitely be back in here again.